Welcome back to Let's Play Higurashi Tatarigoroshi. I just know. I can sense it. That horrible sound coming from the freaking speaker. And the ear piercing of the bird and the cicadas. And I don't know if one of these strings is out of tune, but I want to restring this guitar at some point. Got new strings for it, but haven't got around to restringing it. Recognize that song that I just played there? I don't know. I just felt like playing it. My guitar tutor set up on my effects pedal for like the right kind of tunes. This one kind of fits the solo, but kind of goes out of it because it's a fixed tuning. Oh, I think I got the wrong one. It's 11. Something like that. I don't know why I played that, honestly. I think it was simply so that I could see how it would sound on playback, because I've been playing it on and off for freaking ages now, it feels like. It's only been a few weeks, really, since I was given that to learn. But the solo and the bit right after it's the only bit that I have any real trouble with, anyways. Still feel like shit, by the way, if you're curious. In fact, I probably feel more like shit than I did last week. Just like lately, I've just been feeling even more kind of like... Like, it's not just about like the cat, I just feel generally just... Like, if you've ever been depressed before, you know, you might be able to relate. That horrible feeling where you just like, thoughts and emotions are all essentially just like, you are pathetic, you're nothing. You know, that kind of thing, where you feel like complete shit, you feel absolute crap. That's pretty much how I feel. Anyways, I guess getting on with the plot. Sometimes that kind of foolhardy, Keiichi. When both you and her were absent this morning, you seriously thought you might have kidnapped her and hidden her somewhere. Easy for you to say. If I could have, I'd have done that last night. None of them had really thought about how difficult that clear as day solution was. Come on, Keiichi, you're being so... What was the word I used in the previous part? I know, you're just kind of acting like all self-important. It's like, I'm the only one who can do anything because, you know, I'm the only one who cares. I'm the only one that could do that. I was up thinking all night, thinking until the night was brightening. I mean, it's just like, I don't know. Remember in Onikakushi? It's just like, there's certain points where, like, the protagonist, aka Keiichi, is just like acting in a certain way where you're just like, hey, call him out on that shit. It's just like, in Onikakushi, it's like, hey, Keiichi, aren't you getting a bit too, you know, overly paranoid and taking a bit far here and there on that in Onikakushi? In this one, it's more, no, I'm the only one that can do this. It's like, Keiichi, man, if you want to freaking get shit done, you know, don't do it all by yourself. You know, everyone's worried about Satoko. You know, think of a plan together, you idiot. And then I concluded that I can do anything of the sort. Don't be dumb. I couldn't hide someone. You're right. I'm sorry. I apologize if I upset you. Well, he thought about it all night, really, didn't he? How we'd be able to do that. Don't worry about it. Anyway, let's seek some food. I'm starving. I took my bed of oats out of my bag. Then moved to make a spot for me to sit. Hi, Barakun. Did you just get here? She's pissed, man, and just as I was about to stick my chopsticks in, Chie-Sensei came along. Yeah. Sorry for being late, you know, half a day late. You know, I remember back when I was in school many years ago, I remember stuff like that. Whenever you arrive late, it's the worst thing ever, because, you know, you can't just walk casually into class like it's nothing, or just like it's the middle of lunch break or anything like that. You can't just casually go in. You've got to go to the office to say, hey, I've arrived late. Or you could have your parents phone in and just be like, oh, they're going to be late or some shit. It's always the worst thing. Like, if it's half a day's past, it's like, but man, can we just skip school? I mean, it's already half a day of its past. I remember it so well. Sometimes I'd even be dragged out of the house. Like, literally, it's like, no, you're going to school. But I was very persistent at times like that. Of course, like, in retrospect, it's just like, should have, like, you know, been a bit more diligent. Not in, as in, you know, be more diligent and skip school more, but more and focus a bit more on it. Sorry for being late, I overslept. It's the truth, man, he overslept. What the heck? Even the teacher was giving me that strange look. When you're finished eating, could you and the president come to the teacher's lounge? There's something I want to talk about. Probably about Satoko, I thought. Sensei left it at that and went back out into the hallway, and I just seeing the word sensei made me think, yeah, word of the day. You know, I was at the college earlier, and the last phrase I learnt before leaving was something along the lines of, I'll be late or a bit late. And the irony is, I got a call from my dad saying my brother was going to be late picking me up. I thought that's very ironic. But I can't be, well, can I be asked to get my notes? Yeah, I'll add that one in as an extra. Let's go for that first. I will be arriving late. Tochaku ga okuremasu. I'll be arriving late. But let's look for an actual word for the day, I guess. Tojo, appearance. Man, that is got like Tojo Suru, to appear. Suru appears at the end a lot. What is it? Oh, I see. Yeah, I think that is Suru, right? That appears a lot. I've noticed that. Ow. It's like, I think it was yesterday or the day before, I was watching videos on What Culture Gaming in this series that they've got going on there. Worst games ever, with like crossed out shit games for wankers because they couldn't put that in. But anyways, one game that had like Japanese text in it. I noticed just looking at that, it even had suru at the end of words and sentences in that. It's like I've become more observant anytime I see Japanese language. It's like I'll notice things like that. One thing also as well, I'm getting a bit better at recognizing katakana because like I'll usually struggle at it, but if in the context it makes it very obvious how it should sound because it's a foreign word, at least foreign Japanese, so it's like taxi, for example, is like taxi. It's like spelled out as taku-shi, but the u, as is usually the case, is silent. I've noticed that in a lot of Japanese is the U's tend to be silent a lot. Like Su, like Desu is usually just Des. The U is like silent. The only time in my course that I've ever heard it's actually pronounced as Desu is if it's followed by Ga. Desuga. If it's Deska, it's just Deska, not Desuga. Desuga. It's weird. Like one of the it's like you got these connecting things. Like you got O, you got Ga, you've got Wa, which is spelt like Ha but pronounced like Wa, which is weird. Then you got like Yo, and then you got Ka and Ga and all that. It's just like these things connecting things, old grammatical shit. But the only one I've really memorized is Ka. If you add Ka at the end of a sentence, it turns it into a question. Which is pretty useful to know, really. So then I went back and I went, eating lunch can wait. Let's go, Mion. You're right. Mion and I exchanged looks, nodded to each other and got up. Just talking about Satoko-chan. No doubt about it. They were saying she had a cold, but everyone in class noticed it. I didn't think that wouldn't have reached the teacher's ears by now. I kept playing dumb, so I think she gave up asking me. Revealing the truth to the teacher would only worsen the situation. Was that why she hadn't said anything? Or was it because she was Satoko's friend and knew that she was trying to endure a child or uncle's abuse in order to get her brother to come home? I don't get that. I mean, I kind of do at the same time, but at the same time not get it. Does that make any sense? It's like you can see why she's doing that in hopes that if she can endure it, maybe her brother will come back. But realistically, it doesn't make sense. You can see why she'd think that. Because, like, what did the coach word it as? It had a psychological effect of sorts on her naturally. That type of situation would. So, can understand why she'd think that, but at the same time, it's not like her enduring that's gonna have her so that her brother's gonna know. I would even know about it, for one thing. Anyways, what should we do? Maybe we should use this chance to get a collective opinion. What do you want to do, Rick-chan? She wants to meep. I do not know what meep is, but she says it a lot. Maybe she's the Roadrunner. It was the Roadrunner, yeah, it was. Soko's closest and best friend was Rick-chan. However much I pretend to be her Nini, it didn't come close to the amount of time we spent together. So I felt like her opinion should be held in high regard. I know why Satoko's enduring her uncle's torture. Everyone looked startled and turned to me. Back then, whenever Satoko was abused, she probably cried and hid behind her brother. But Satoko thinks that, in the end, that's why her brother ran away. Who did you hear that from? The coach, I bet. I nodded quietly. Satoko believes her brother will come back if she can withstand the abuse. Maybe that's why she's trying to push through. But that assumption has nothing to do with Satoshi coming back. You have to say that about Satoko, but it's the truth. Everyone hung their heads. Everyone was thinking the same thing. Satoko probably won't be happy no matter who helps her. She wants to withstand everything with her own strength. But is it really right to respect that? I don't think it is. Even if Satoko hates us for a while, I think there will come a time when we need to save her against her will. And I think that time might be now. I told them all about what I saw and how I felt when I went to Satoko's house yesterday. It's good, so you think we should tell someone? Of course, only after we're sure that reporting it to a public agency will guarantee her safety. Without being sure of that, it could just get more dangerous for her instead. It's a difficult problem. You think we can get a definite promise out of the teacher? I had no confidence, but we had to try. Meanwhile, Rika-chan had her hand raised for a while as if asking for an opportunity to speak. I will leave it to Keiichi. What? Is that okay, Rika-chan? Keiichi's thinking about Satoko more than anybody else here. If Keiichi thinks that we need to tell someone, then I have no complaints. Oh, now she's further confirming to Keiichi. It's like, yeah, you are the one, Keiichi. You are the chosen one because you are thinking about it more than everyone else. Thanks, Mion, Renner. Are you okay with that? Wait, that should have been thanks. Mion, Renner, you okay with that? There should be a pause. I mean, I know I kind of read through it really quickly, but still. Mion seemed to hesitate. Damn it all, I've got an interruption, I've got food. I did not ask for food, but I was made food, and my father brought it in, and the fork fell on the floor, so he's got to get another one. Damn it, we're not even 20-minute mark on this man. Mion seemed to hesitate, not knowing if she should agree. But when she saw Renner's firm nod, she made up her mind and did say, okay, I mean, that's probably not Renner, it's Keiichi. Okay, let's go, Mion. Right. Honestly, the food smells kind of... I mean, you can't smell it, but I can. It's like, from what I could see, chips, beans, an egg, and just kind of has that smell to it. Maybe it's the fork they dropped on the floor, but it's just like, Only Chie-Sensei was in the teacher's lounge. And I'm going to have to stop the recording because, because of that, I suppose. I guess I'll record after it, I guess. So I'll be right back eventually, some point, whatever. Ooh. Righty then. I just now noticed the background is Satoko's house there, isn't it? I've had my food. It was alright, I suppose. There was some bacon as well. Honestly, I just don't get the appeal of bacon. Maybe I just don't have the godly bacon that so many people speak of. But I find bacon's just kind of like, it's alright, I guess. I don't see the obsession. But whatever. We didn't see the principal anywhere. The schedule on the blackboard under the principal's name said, training, going straight home. That voice tickles my throat, that does. Our principal's sense of justice was too strong. Satoko's problems wouldn't be solved with something so vague. Maybe it was a stroke of good luck that he wasn't here. Can you imagine the principal kicking the crap out of Satoko's uncle? And he is a very highly regarded martial artist of sorts. When the teacher saw Mion and I come in, she closed up her curry bento, of course, saving the rest for later. Sit over there, please. She told us to take a seat in the chairs directly in front of the principal's seat. I wonder what that says. It's in kanji characters, so I have no idea. Honestly, it looks... Well, that probably is what it is. It isn't a book, it's probably a folder. It looks like a folder. I hadn't sat in... She gets directly in front of the principal's seat. I hadn't sat in this chair since doing the paperwork for transferring in. Hoover sat there uncomfortably before the teacher walked over carrying a notebook and a ballpoint, a pen, and such. My Barakun, you were absent this morning. Did something happen? I'm sorry, I overslept. Really? I have no reason to lie. She narrowed her eyes at me in suspicion. No, I was sure of it. She wanted to talk about Satoko. In any case, I think you two already know, but your friend Hojo-san has been awake frequently lately. Neither Mion nor I had anything to say in response, but the teacher proceeded, not minding. Would you happen to know anything? There are some people in class spreading bad rumors. Mion looked down and remained silent, as though she were being lectured. She sent me a quick glance. Everyone had made up their minds. They'd be leaving things to me. Mion-kun, or you, my Barakun. I won't get mad or anything, okay? If you know something, I just want you to tell me. I've given her the same voice I give to Keiichi's mother, really, don't I? And then Takano's voice I give her pretty much the same thing, really, isn't it? It's like, oh yeah, Mion gets her own voice, Shion gets an altered version of Mion's voice. Rika gets a kind of like quieter version of Rena's voice. Rena's got her own voice. Stoker's got her own voice. Keiichi's got my, default protagonist voice, which is essentially just my own voice for the most part, really, isn't it? And then there's like Keiichi and Tomitake have a mix of the same kind of voice. Kirie is like, aka the coach, he's got a slightly different voice, I guess, to Keiichi's. But there's a lot of repeating of the same voice because I can't really do a variety of voices. I mean, if I did, they'd just end up being silly eventually, because like it's easier to come up with silly voices than a more respectable voice for the character. Also, I think that's the first time we've ever heard Mion referred to with that, is it suffix? Is that what's called? Sensei, can we ask you a question first? You must not have anticipated that response. She looked surprised. I don't know what rumors are going around about Satoko in class, but those rumors happen to be true. What would you do, Sensei? Well, what would I do? If it's true that she's being abused by her uncle, I can't leave it alone. Can't leave what alone exactly? What would you do? Sensei's eyebrows shot up. Maybe I said it like I was trying to pick a fight. Hi, Barkun. I'm being serious here. So am I. I'm also being completely serious right now. Please answer me. If it were true, what wouldn't you leave alone? Sensei took a few breaths, then began to speak slowly. First, I'd have to visit Tokyo-san's house to confirm this situation. Your uncle might get mad and drive you away, though. Well, okay. Let's say you did meet with Satoko and her uncle. Then what? And then ask whether it was true. Once I got the facts, I'd go from there. Please stop talking so vaguely. What exactly would you do? Even despite my tone being so provocative, Chie-Sensei bit back her emotions and listened calmly. I thought then that she was a good teacher. Chie-Sensei really did have her students' best interests at heart. But she didn't have the power or the authority to save Satoko. She let her sense of justice run away with her. The situation could get more complex. Sensei folded her arms, and for a few moments she closed her eyes as though mentally concentrating. And when they opened again, there was a strictness in her eyes I'd never seen before. There's a law called the Child Welfare Law. It clearly states that abuse against children will not be allowed, no matter who it is. So it would seem. Then what? I'd contact the prefecture's Child Consolation Center. You said just now that I would be turned away, didn't you? Child welfare officers can bring the police with them if the situation demands. You will not submit to intimidation. How many days would it take after you contact the social worker and submit the paperwork for her to be saved? It would be the same day. Their job is to guarantee the immediate safety of children. I know that. That's if they decide there's an urgent need. If they didn't, then they'd do the same as you. They'd go from there, they'd just wait and see, right? They'd just watch. It would make Satoko's uncle's mood sour, and Satoko would be stuck with him there. Kei-chan, that's gone a little too far. I'm not lying, am I? Last year or the year before, whatever, that's exactly what happened when the child welfare people came, isn't it? And what happened then? You and Sensei would know about it a lot better than I would. I'd said too much. I didn't need Mion to tell me that. I was talking crazy and itching for a fight. I was supposed to be telling her about the situation only after I was sure we could save Satoko, but I basically told her everything right from the start. Chie-Sensei looked at the clock, stood up, and picked up the phone at the principal's office. Have a seat. Hello, put me through to extension 3455, please. Is this okay, Kei-chan? Is this really okay? It was too late. The dice had been cast. Now we could only pray. Oh, thank you for answering my call. I'm Chie, licensed teacher at the Miza Branch School. Would Director Watanabe happen to be in the guidance office? Yes, that's right. Something urgent came up, so I'd like to contact the principal as soon as I can. Yes, thank you. Please tell him immediately. Yes, thank you. Then she put down the phone and tilted her head back and took a breath like I always did. I'll ask the two of you again. Are the rumors going around class really true? Yes, they went to Stoker's house. And I saw for myself just how bad it really is. You can leave the rest to me. I'll definitely do something for Satoko-chan. Something? Please stop saying such ambiguous things. Not something we have to save her. If they end up deciding to wait and see again, how do you plan on taking responsibility? While I was yelling, the phone rang. Chie-Sensei snatched the receiver up first. Well, naturally, why would anyone else answer it? Oh, I apologize for interrupting your training. Yes, actually it's about the issue with Satoko Hojo-san. Yes. Sensei waved us away, telling us we could leave now. Mion went to leave, but I held my ground. I had a responsibility to make sure she stopped saying such vague, ambiguous things. If it didn't look like she was going to say anything substantial, then I'd tell them the truth, even if I had to steal the phone from her. Yes. No, I haven't contacted them yet. Yes. I haven't confirmed it, but it seems pretty bad from what the children are saying. Not just pretty bad. Do something about it. Right now. If you're going to report it, then I don't care who you tell. But I swear if they end up just waiting and watching, I will never forgive you. I yelled angrily at Sensei and the principal on the other end. I wanted to somehow, some way convey to them just how dangerous the situation was right now. I understand that. We'll tell them as much. Mion-kun, please take my Barakun back to the classroom. Yes, ma'am. Let's go, Kei-chan. We should leave this to the teacher now. Teachers, better promise. Until the very last moment, I glared at Sensei. Chie-Sensei was being pressured by the likes of me. Idiot, this isn't the time to feel pressured. That is a time when you give me a firm nod that'll set my mind at ease. Even so, we've already left things in her hands. At this point, we really can't do anything but pray. Bang! Mion shut the door to the teacher's lounge. That wasn't a bang, that was more of a... just one of those, sliding doors by the sound of it. Higurashi when they cry. You received new tips, articles, statistics, for women's good health and welfare. Human and lot influence. We don't get a lot of tips in this one. What? Article? I didn't notice that, so we got 2 tips? Both of them seem to be coming from the same book here. Article 2, definition of child abuse. The term child abuse means following acts committed by a custodian within a person who exercises parental authority, a guardian of a minor, or a person who is currently engaged against a child. Herein after the same shall apply against a child, meaning a person who is under 18 years of age. Herein after the same shall apply. It said article, it didn't say article 2. 1. Assaults the child in a manner that will cause or is likely to cause external injury on the body of the child. 2. Engage in indecency against the child or cause the child to engage in indecency. 3. Substantially reduce the amount of food for the child or abandon and neglect the child for a long time and period in a manner that may interfere with normal development of the child's mentally or physically. Or otherwise materially fail to perform the duty of a custodian, or 4. Speak or behave in a manner that would be significantly traumatic to the child. Now let's have a rundown here, shall we? Number 1, yeah, that applies. You get the banana. Yeah. Does that mean like molest? Essentially, I don't think that one's in the case there. This one seems like it could potentially be, yeah. Well, actually, this is the main one, isn't it? He abandoned her for a year, so this fits. This one definitely fits. Article 3, prohibition of child abuse. No person shall abuse a child. Act number 82 of 2000. Offered by the Minister of Health and Welfare. Year 1984-5. I don't know when this takes place, but apparently it takes place in the 80s, so I'm going to assume that the date there is 1980 something. Maybe it's the 70s as well. Depends how far back it goes from the current plot. Principal abusers in cases reported to the Ministry of Health and Welfare. Oh god, that face. Total 5,352. Murdered by blood. 943, 55.0%. Murder not by blood. 203, 3.8%. That's a lot lower. Followed by blood. 1,445, 27.0%. Not as much. Followed not by blood. 488. 9.1%. So what is this a statistic for? Is it like in general? Like how instances are reported or what? I don't know. Year 1980 something, 70 something incidents of the type of abuse in cases reported to the Ministry of Health and Welfare. Total 5,352 physical abuse. 2,780, 51.9%. Neglect, abandonment of child. 1,728, 32.3%. Psychological abuse, 458, 8.6%. Forbidden from going to school, 75, 1.4%. Sexual violence, 311, 5.8%. I do not like that. The ominous music didn't play on anything but that one. No. This is getting worse, man. The die of fate had been cast, reporting to a public agency, which kept being warned could instead result in something far worse for Satoko if we didn't have the evidence first. And just like that. Had I failed, had I let my emotions get the better of me in that moment, maybe I should have stayed silent and left everything to Mion, since she had been relatively calm. I remember the punishment game where we had to badmouth Curry, and how me saying anything would have made it worse. Satoko told us to leave the talking to her. Maybe it was the same thing here. I was impulsive, so maybe I should have just shut up and looked at the floor. But it was too late to end it. What I had thrown wouldn't be coming back into my hands. All we could do was pray for something good to happen.
Keiichi, you did everything you could. So leave it to the teachers now, okay?
I find it such a weird voice to do for Rena. I mean, for one thing, I'm a freaking guy. I'm doing that voice is like, how is it even possible? Well, it's weird, really, isn't it? It's like, think about it, like, a guy can, like, kind of like think of vocals, for example. There are a lot of male vocalists that can do ridiculously high voices that even put some female vocalists to shame with how high they can reach. Where it's just like they're wearing tight jeans. Well, that's probably the thing, wasn't it? Tight jeans, he's like, ah! I mean, I can't go nearly as high as that, but you get the idea. While, on the other hand, making it a more manly, deep-sounding voice, you don't see that as often, like, a woman being able to, like, give a kind of, really deep voice. Well, some women do, really, but I don't know where I'm even rambling on about it. I just find it kind of odd how that voice comes out of me. Everything I could, if I really gave it everything I had, if I had really struggled, I would have dragged Satoko out of her house last night and hidden her in some abandoned house. I didn't, so that means I didn't do everything I could.
Stop thinking about it, alright? You're being a little too persistent, Keiichi-kun. Let At this rate, will collapse.
Just leave me alone. I left her with those words and stared lazily up at the ceiling. But we can't see the ceiling because they did not photograph the ceiling, it seems. I wondered if I'd really got Chie-Sensei to understand. Would the public agency intervene and solve everything during the day? Would they acknowledge the abuse and guarantee her safety? After lunch breaks or afternoon classes were mostly self-study. The teacher came back to the classroom occasionally, but then the phone in the lounge would ring and she'd have a long conversation with a caller. The afternoon class got the feeling they knew what those phone calls were about. Sensei came trotting back from the classroom. I'm really sorry for all the phone calls recently. Let's call it a day. President, please lead the class. Everybody stand up. It looked to me like Sensei had been wearing a dark expression ever since after lunch break. It wasn't a very relieving expression. It wouldn't be, even if Sensei 100% understood the situation and passionately explained it to the other person. At the end, the Child Translation Center, as a public agency, would be the ones to decide whether to get her to safety. Sensei understood that as well as us, and that's why she looked so unreliable right now. Kei-chan, let's go home. I don't think anyone feels like having the club today.
Mi-chan, it's no fun if someone's not here.
Brenda was right. It was no fun for us if someone was missing. If the teacher's expression had shown more promise, then maybe we could have gone home more comfortably. But I couldn't let myself feel relieved. I couldn't be naive and tell myself all I can do is pray now that the dice had been cast. Just in case they didn't get her to safety and decided to wait and see again. I need to take further measures. We've asked the people who could do something officially already. Official, I mean. Then there was one more place that was worth asking for help. She might laugh it off, or I might be right and I could be endangering my own life. But I'd try. Oh, Mion, is it okay if I stop by your place today? You got a lot of manga, right? I want to borrow a bunch of them. aka code word for I need to do something at your house or something. Huh? Sure, I guess. There was an ominous meaning behind my words, so Mion realized what I really meant right away. I wanted to talk about something alone. Imagine if that would end up being the real reason. It's like, hey, so, Mion, what manga you got? It's the mid-80s here, so we haven't really got any, like, I don't know. Dragon Ball was technically an 80s and 90s manga, wasn't it? But was it around in the mid-80s? Was Fist of the North Star? I think that one was an 80s one as well, but I'm not sure. We're talking mid-1980s here, man. This was before all that kind of like cutesy shit came into things. Well, they did have it back then as well, I'd imagine. But have you noticed that? This is like, I haven't really watched any anime in ages, but that seems to be a reoccurring thing. It's like, we'll have cutesy characters, and we'll have a plot somewhere in there, but the main thing that just like gets right in your face, like, look at these cute characters! Wow. Look at this fan service! Wow. It's kind of just like, I don't know. I wanted to talk about Sumigaloon, and that's what I meant. Yeah, that's probably right.
Hey-chan, Keiichi-kun, let's go home.
Rena already had her shoes on and was waving to us from the schoolyard.